Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, I am so thrilled to have you here today because we're tackling something absolutely massive. I want you to just stop and think for a second about the device you probably have sitting right within arm's reach right now. You literally have more AI power sitting in your pocket at this exact moment than an entire tech company had access to just 5 short years ago. I mean, we're not talking about some distant sci-fi future here. We are talking about right now, today. You have this massive, untapped supercomputer power, and today we're going to learn how to actually master it. Because honestly, despite having all of this incredible technology right at our fingertips, most people use less than 5% of their device's actual AI capability. And how are they using that tiny, tiny sliver? Well, usually they're limiting themselves to just one chatbot, asking it to do one incredibly boring task, and just calling it a day. The rest of it, that massive 95%, it's completely untapped potential, just waiting to be utilized. So to fix that, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. Everyday AI assistants, 2. Specialist AI tools, 3. The invisible AI layer, and 4. The mindset shift. All right, let's dive into part 1, everyday AI assistants, and moving beyond the basic chatbot. So you likely already know general purpose assistants, right? Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini. But calling them chatbots undersells their power terribly. It's like calling a smartphone just a calculator. Think of them more as your personal chief of staff. In a single afternoon, they can draft your emails, summarize a dense 50-page document, and debug a broken script you're working on. You can ask them to explain incredibly confusing topics in totally plain language, or plan out the complex itinerary for your next trip. You can even use them to role-play a high-stakes negotiation or prep for a really tough conversation before you ever walk into the room. But how do you get them to do all that well? The answer is context. The real skill isn't just typing an isolated question into a text box. It's building a really simple 3-step habit. First, state who you are. Second, state what you actually want. And third, define exactly what good looks like for your specific situation. By adopting this one single habit of giving proper context, you will easily triple the usefulness of anything you ask the AI to do. It's a total game changer. Moving on to part 2, specialist AI tools. These are built specifically for one job. Now, specialist tools don't replace your general assistants. They layer right on top of them. Imagine assembling a highly specialized digital crew. You've got image generators that effortlessly handle your visual design and content generation. You have AI video editors that automatically cut down your footage, add perfect captions, and even generate voiceovers. You've got AI note takers that sit silently in your meetings and hand you a perfectly clean summary the absolute second you hang up. And for the developers out there, you have AI coding assistants that live right inside your code editor, proactively writing, fixing, and explaining syntax as you type. And here's the secret. Top creators and professionals don't just use one tool at a time. They create an assembly line of efficiency. They stack these apps side by side to build a highly optimized workflow. So they might use one dedicated app specifically for thinking and planning out the project, another app exclusively for producing the actual work, and a final app solely for polishing the result. The whole thing becomes an incredibly powerful, cohesive system. All right, part 3, the invisible AI layer, the quiet, powerful tools you already use. This is definitely the most unrecognized tier of the landscape. The AI running completely silently in the background. Without you even noticing, your typical morning routine is already AI-powered. Your email inbox automatically sorts itself to keep spam out of your way. Your smartphone camera instantly enhances your photos the second you snap a picture. Your spreadsheets proactively suggest complex formulas to save you time. And your Daily Maps app analyzes and predicts exact traffic conditions before you even pull out of the driveway. This represents the single biggest usage shift in the tech landscape right now. AI isn't a separate app anymore. It's becoming the invisible layer underneath everything. It is woven directly into the very fabric of our digital lives, working quietly to make our tools smarter and faster. Which brings us to our final section, part 4, the mindset shift, from transaction to collaboration. You know, the gap between people who are truly thriving with AI and those who aren't actually has nothing to do with which software they downloaded. It all comes down to a crucial shift in habit. On one side, we have the transactional user, which we call the vending machine, and on the other, we have the collaborative user, which we call the thinking partner. The difference between these two approaches is literally night and day. The vending machine user interacts with AI exactly like a machine in a hallway. They punch in one line, get one answer back, and walk away.
It's completely transactional. But the thinking partner, they go back and forth. They refine the prompt. They correct the AI when it's slightly off. They actively ask it to challenge their assumptions, and they use it to check their work. They don't just demand a finished product. They collaboratively work through the problem together. That one single habit shift, moving your mindset from just saying, give me an answer, to saying, work through this with me, is absolutely the definitive, actual skill required for 2026. Ultimately, it's not about which shiny new app currently happens to be the smartest on the market. It is entirely about how well you know how to use it and how willing you are to collaborate with it.
So I'll leave you with this. Which tricky email, confusing bill, or difficult decision are you going to tackle today using your new thinking partner? Pick just one AI app that you already have installed, and instead of pushing through a task alone, go back and forth with it. Challenge it, refine it. Drop a comment below with how it goes. But remember this, the future won't be defined by who has the smartest AI, but by who asks it the smartest questions. Thanks so much for joining me today on The Explainer, and keep learning.